What a year. During the 2021 legislative session, Virginia did some amazing things. We ended the death penalty, we legalized possession of small amounts of marijuana, and we took one step closer to guaranteeing the right to vote for all Virginians. Things were looking up. But in January of 2022, a new administration and a new legislature assumed leadership of the Commonwealth, promptly steering it in a very different direction. Since then, we've experienced attacks on our civil rights and our civil liberties from every angle. Classrooms have become ideological battlegrounds as the extreme right pushes to ban books, censor the teaching of inclusive history, and stop LGBTQ kids from simply being their authentic selves. Both voting rights and reproductive rights are under siege. And the idea of second chances for incarcerated people has been replaced with tough on crime rhetoric that didn't work in the 80s and 90s and that does not work now. But these are the times for which the ACLU was created. This is when we dig in our heels and fight even harder. When the right to vote amendment died in the 2022 legislature, undoing years of hard work and denying tens of thousands of people the right to vote, we pivoted. We mobilized right to vote tours across the Commonwealth, working closely with our coalition partners. We have ramped up our work to protect trans and non-binary students in schools, filing lawsuits against schools that failed to protect students, fighting against anti-LGBTQ bills in the legislature, and supporting community organizing efforts. With the recent overturning of Roe v. Wade, we have reignited our work on reproductive justice. Abortion remains legal today in Virginia, but we are literally one vote away from the kinds of restrictive bans that we have seen in other states across the country. We are going to fight as hard as we can to ensure that Virginians have a constitutional right to affordable and accessible abortion. We will continue our efforts to reduce Virginia's high incarceration rate and to rid the state of its most abusive prison practices. We premiered our documentary Injustice, a film that shines a spotlight on Virginia's mass incarceration crisis, and we continue to fight for oversight at the Department of Corrections, second chances for incarcerated people, and an end to prison profiteering. We got a big win in our case Thorpe versus the Department of Corrections, the lawsuit challenging the use of solitary confinement, when the court ruled that correctional officers could not shield themselves with the doctrine of qualified immunity, but instead could be held accountable for their misconduct. These are just a few of the things that have taken up our time over the past year. But because it's obvious that we need to do even more and to do things in new ways, we've grown our organization and our staff. We have also hired a chief program officer to bolster our integrated advocacy, to better coordinate our efforts in the legislature, in the courts, and in partnership with communities. We've added staff to our policy team so we can do more at the state and the local level. And our legal team has added lawyers who will work and focus on LGBTQ issues, reproductive rights, and immigrants' rights. When it comes to defending our democracy, this is the time to be fearless, to go big, to be bold, and to fight like hell. We can do these things, but we can't do these things without your support. So we appreciate every donor, every member, every supporter who is with us in this fight. Together, we will meet the challenges to come, and we will do what it takes to protect civil rights and civil liberties for all Virginians. Thank you.